Hey ladies, today I have my mom with me, love of my life, Dolly Mercer, and my mom and I were talking today and we decided that we wanted to have a sit down chit chat with you ladies about some things that have been on both of our hearts, and we just wanted to share it with you. So today we wanted to talk to you guys about what it is to be yourself or your authentic self. My mother and I have quite quirky personalities. I know personally for me, and I feel like my mother as well, we have very serious personalities, very intellectual personalities, but then on the complete opposite end of the spectrum, we're really, really goofy, like insanely goofy in a way that I don't even think you guys could encompass the amount of craziness that goes on in this house.
You can tell by that laugh that I just gave. It's pretty funny.
But when I was growing up, I was told I was never, not by my family, this is by my peers, people in school.
I don't know, I may have contributed a little bit to that.
Well, you get told to sit down, shut up, and sometimes it's warranted. You should sit down and shut up, but sometimes, I was told that I wasn't good enough. I wasn't pretty enough, that my ideas weren't great, my personality wasn't great.
It wasn't pretty, yeah.
Yeah. And those things really put a damper on who you are and who you're meant to be if you allow them to. And it didn't take until I'm in my 30s now, I'll be 32 this year, to really kind of gird my loins and say, I'm gonna be myself.
Yeah.
And those who really want to be around me will be around me, and those who don't can go kick rocks. Like that's how I feel. I don't know, Mom, what about you?
Well, everybody was raised different, and I was raised back in the 60s with the flower child and the afros, and after a while those things were not popular anymore because I came in the days of Martin Luther King where things were changing for black people, and so we were being morphed into different people. We was told, don't be so black now just we want to change you guys and now start blending in, and you lose your identity.
Wait, hold on. You said you grew up in the days of the flower child.
Yeah, and Martin Luther King.
But Martin Luther King was before the flower child.
Yeah, but all of these things were affecting me from teen.
Oh, okay,
from teen
all
years,
of those things together.
Yeah,
okay.
from teen years to from childhood to teen years, until you lose your identity of what makes you comfortable. Who are you? And one day I just looked in the mirror and said, who are you? And especially after you get married and have children, you say, why am I here? What is my purpose?
Yeah. What
fulfills me? And not so much as you want to be selfish or self-centered, but you want to know, what makes me tick? What makes my life fulfilling? So you look in the mirror and you say, I don't like my hair. I'm putting too much energy into it. I don't like my personality. I try to please everybody. I try to make everybody happy.
Or your personality is too controversial.
Yeah. Or you just downright mean.
That's the assumption a lot of people make.
Yeah. And sometimes
about my
sometimes
mom
I was
and I
pretty mean. Sometimes I was mean. And
Me too.
I didn't like me. And I thought, you can't run from yourself because everywhere you go, there you are. So I realized I got to like my own skin. I got to find out what do I like. So I realized I got crazy taste in clothing. I like different jewelry. I like natural hair. And it took me right back to the hippie frame of mind. And I said, I'm an old hippie by heart. That makes me happy. But my husband was very conservative. Suit, tie, gray, black, and white. Those are his colors. We were both together. How can I be me and he be him without him saying, you need to do something to your hair. Are you going to wear your hair natural like that now? Or why don't you try to change, and me telling him, why don't you put a little more color into your wardrobe? Just let you do you. God made us individuals. And like you said, Sonny warned me, don't rabbit trail.
Oh no, you didn't
Yeah.
rabbit trail. You're doing
So,
fine.
so I had to realize, let me be me. So we sit down and I had a talk with him, and I said, look, I've deceived you. I'm really not who you think I am. And he gave me this look like, deceive me? Like, what have you been doing all these years? And I said, no, I'm just not happy in my skin. I'm not comfortable in my own skin. I want to wear my natural hair. I want to wear my quirky clothes. I want to wear bell bottoms. I want to wear skinny jeans. I want to look young, metro. I want to do me. And so he goes, well, do you? So with that, I went out and bought a new wardrobe. A little bit at a time, you know. In my mind, I didn't throw the baby out with bath water. And I still, it took a while. And my daughter was the one that started me, because she says, Mom, why are you pressing your hair? I mean, why are you perming your hair so much? Why you keep putting color in your hair? And this is all the time that I was subconsciously asking myself that. And when she brought it up, it was like the Lord was speaking to me and say, it's time for you at almost 60 years old to stop being afraid to be you. So that's our message today, girls and boys. Be you. Look in your closet. If it dates you, if it makes you feel tired, if it makes you feel ugly, frumpy, get rid of it.
Or uncomfortable.
Yes.
Yeah.
And if your nature is quiet, be quiet. Don't try to fill in dead space when you're around people so that they can feel welcome and feel warm around you. Just do you.
I know for me, I love quirky clothing as well. I have two different types of style in my personality. I have like my hipster, hippie, artistic style, and then I have my very kind of corporate business.
Yeah.
And then I even have my mom style that I just look like a mom.
Yeah.
I just, it's very basic, easy.
And all those are you.
And they're all facets of my personality. For me, I've gotten a lot of my personality is too abrasive.
Yeah.
I'm too outspoken, and I look intimidating. And those things really handicapped my personality for a long time, because then I tried to cater to people's perception of me. And, it just made me feel like I wasn't a human being. I even had someone tell me, someone very close to me, tell me that no one likes me, that they only hang out. Now, as an adult, I'm 30 years old, and someone is telling me, no one likes you, they're only hanging out with you because of me.
Yeah.
And I looked at this individual and I was like, you don't get to say that.
Yeah.
Unless someone has come up to you and said, personally, I don't like so-and-so, so-and-so, and I'm only hanging out with them because of you.
Yeah.
You don't get to say things like that to me. And the thing is that that individual said that to be hurtful, but I think it's because that individual is afraid to be themselves.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm not afraid to be myself. I love to stand up for people.
I love to stand out.
I don't actually like to be the center of attention.
No, not the center of attention, but I don't mind if I walk in the room that I stand out. That used to make me uncomfortable. But now I realize that's just a stamp that the Lord has put on my life. In other words, like Joseph said, that's just the coat God gave me.
Yeah.
And we were talking about the abrasive personalities. Sometimes you're abrasive because of the hurts that has been in your life. And there are some people that maybe you haven't forgiven, some people you haven't made peace with. And my advice is to go to those people and say, look, something happened between you and I years ago, and I've been holding this in my heart, and I want to ask you to forgive me. Don't ask them to ask for forgiveness. You ask for forgiveness and say, I just want you to forgive me because I haven't handled that very well. And I just want to just go on with my life, and I want you to go on with yours. And I just want you to let you know that I've released you from that, And well, you don't bother me. That's most time when people say, honey, nothing you say bother me. You never bothered me. They say, well, I just want to do my part and just say, will you forgive me? That's all I really want to say, and go on. Once you make your peace, that's God's stamp of approval in your life, and more peace will come into your life. and then you'll begin to be yourself even more. But always have peace in your heart every day. Follow peace.
You know, sorry, Mom, I didn't mean to cut you off.
You did. I was finished.
What I've had to come to terms with is that God made me my personality for a reason. Now, it doesn't mean that my personality, there aren't things in my personality that need work.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not a perfect person. You know, so we can all work on things in our personality. But I had to realize, I felt like the Lord was kind of bringing it to my realization that He made me my personality for a reason. There is a place for each person's authentic personality in society. There's a place for it. There's a need for it. There are needs for people who have a very political personality, because those people lead our country. You know, there's a need for it. There's a need for people who have a personality to stand up for justice, lawyers and police officers. Those are personality traits.
Yeah.
And my personality is a key to society. It's something needed in society, just as your personality, your authentic you, is a need in society. That's why it was given to you. So
your personality is a peacemaker. You've always been a peacemaker. My mother was like that, and they'd say she always kept peace in the family. When people would squabble, she would always be the voice of reason. And when they were fighting, everybody would be fighting, and then she would say, wait a minute, this is what's going on, and if you would just do this, you know. And everybody knew her as that person. So you really got that, your grandmother's trait with that. Just had to throw that in there, she didn't even know that. Oh, boy.
the halo.
Did I create them all?
Anyway, I don't want this video to just go on and on and on. Yeah. But I did want us to just, if I could leave the people who watch this video, if I could leave you with anything,
any hope,
it is to not be afraid to be yourself.
Yeah.
Actually, go to sleep tonight. Decide that night that when you wake up tomorrow, you're going to be your authentic self.
Yeah.
You're going to be yourself and walk in that strength, because you're going to find more peace, more joy, more satisfaction in being who you really are, as opposed to being who you think you should be.
First, look in the mirror and say, who am I?
And say, I like me.
Just say, who am I?
I like me. One of the things I would have to do when I would start to feel bad about myself, and I don't even know if I've ever told you, there were times I would feel ugly, and I would go through old photos of myself, and I would point out things that were beautiful on me. Oh, I like this about me. I like that about me. And I would have to remind myself that I was a beautiful person. I would look at different videos of myself and remind myself, I like my personality. I like me. Yeah. If I would hang out with me, you know? And so those things can be confidence builders. Don't look at the things in your life that aren't perfect. Look at the things in your life that you know are good things. You know that you could help somebody being yourself. Look at the things on your body that you like about yourself. Don't focus on the negative things, because the enemy will always use the things that aren't perfect in your eyes or in society's eyes to bring you down.
And if you're around people that always tell you things like, you talk too much, or every time I look around, you in somebody's face, or you are pretty intense. Whenever you explain something, you always look like you're mad. Don't listen to those voices.
That's their personal problem.
Really, because that's their personal opinion. What it is, sometimes people want to control you, and if they can keep you in a box and keep you quiet, keep you where you don't speak out, keep it where whatever they do, if you say anything, they say, you always starting strife, or you always arguing. I'm not going to argue with you. Actually, that's not even an argument. I was trying to talk to you, and you're turning it into an argument by using the word arguing. So you have to remember, all those are tricks. So you still be yourself and say, look, it's not an argument. And just be quiet and let that person just spin their wheels. Let them go on and have their opinion. And you can live in a marriage like that. If a person is opinionated and trying to change you, you can still be yourself. And that is an important message. I didn't get into depth about that, but that's a very important message. That you have to be yourself even in a marriage.
You have to be an individual. And
yes.
And sometimes when you get married, you have to really fight to be an individual.
You have to fight to be an individual. And at the same time, still be compatible to your mate. You don't leave them. You don't have to leave them for that.
Right.
Marriage ain't that fragile. But the Lord put you with that person because they got some traits that you need to learn, and you got some traits that they need to learn. Maybe you're outspoken and they need to learn to be outspoken. Maybe they're quiet and you need to learn to be quiet. So just find your balance. Yeah. But don't let them ruffle your feathers and you be frustrated because you're not them, or you can't be who they trying to make you to be. You know, am I making any sense to this? I hope so. Yeah.
Am I preaching to somebody out there? No, but like I was saying, usually when people attack things of your character or your personality, it's because those are things that are lacking in their character.
Yeah,
and
they
their
want
personality. And instead of saying, man, I wish I was like that, they attack you for being that way so that you succumb to be more like them.
Yeah.
So they can feel more comfortable
in their skin.
But anyway, ladies, I'm gonna wrap this video up. I just wanted to leave you ladies with that. Do not be afraid to be your authentic you, and just know somebody out there in the web is thinking about you.
Yeah.
It's me.
And it's me.
If you ladies have anything you want to talk about, anything you want me to address on this channel, or just have a sit down talk about, please leave your comments below. I would love to really speak on things that you're interested in. And my mother has a channel.
Yes.
We're getting it up and started. I will put her link and everything in the description bar below if you're interested in seeing more that my mommy has to say.
Yes.
I love you, mommy.
I love you too.